Welcome, everyone. Good morning. My name is Mickie Mueller, and this is GEG Nebraska for May of 2026. This is our final one for the 25-26 school year. So I am one of the co-moderators of GEG Nebraska. I am a Google for Education certified trainer. I retired last May, so I'm coming up on 1 year of retirement. And let me tell you, folks, it's good on this other side. It's good on the other side. But I'm here, as always, with my co-moderator, Otis.
Otis Pierce, ESU 7 PD coordinator, also a co-moderator of GEG Nebraska. I'm still on the non-retired side, which is still a good side as well. Staying busy at the ESU, staying busy all together. Glad that hopefully your school year is coming to a smooth end. We know it's hectic this time of year with field trips, spring sports and everything else happening, concerts and honors nights. And if you have a graduate this year, whether it's from high school or college or even kindergarten, hopefully things are going smoothly.
Yeah, all important things. We want to say hello to all of you, especially if you're tuning in live. So we love it when we have guests join us. Jason from ESU 10, thanks for joining, Jason. So Otis and we're together again. I was just commenting to Otis, since I've been retired, it's given me a little more flexibility. And so I've been able to come to Columbus each time we do this year. So 4 times in Nebraska weather, I've been able to drive to Columbus to do this in person with Otis. So,
and that has been great, because usually where Mickie has been in a separate room in the district office in Norfolk, I've been in a room here at ESU 7. I think one time I maybe did it from a car when I was out in a school or something too, but who knows? But being together, having a chance to chat in person as well.
Yeah. So, so I get here a little bit early so we can set up ahead of time. And I tell you what, this morning we just dove right in. We were talking heavy stuff right away, like not what you're doing. Well, we did do a little bit of what you're doing this summer, but we jumped right into our topics of conversation. So, and
it got to the point of, it's 10. We need to get going.
We got to stop. We got to cut that conversation and continue. So we've got a jam-packed agenda for you today. And we do this once a quarter. We try and get together and share the latest Google updates. And we don't necessarily just share Google updates. If there's something going on in the tech world, we will try and share that as well. We'd love to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, shoot us a question. We'll take those as well. But I think where we want to start first is something that we've talked about for probably, what would you say, the last year? Going back even to last school year.
Yeah, going back even into last school year, starting to mention some of those things. The Monday of the week that it was due for populations greater than 50,000 for ADA compliance for accessibility, they decided to say, hey, we're going to put the brakes on this and we're going to wait a year and bump everybody back a year. I may have thrown a little fit for about 2 minutes that day, letting us know 5 days before, the Monday before it was done. But the accessibility deadlines for school websites for your web content to be accessible online has been pushed back a year. So now the dates for those that serve a population, a total population, not your student population, but your total population from the census of 50,000 or more, is now April 26th, 2027. Those for, I'm torn on this too, Jason. For less than 50,000 is April 26th, 2028. However, if you've started, great, keep going, keep doing what you're doing. If you haven't started, now is still a good time to start rather than, let's just push it off.
Yeah, and so we've kind of tried to keep this at the forefront as we've been talking, letting you know that this is happening, that this is coming. Jason and I actually had a short conversation about this at NETA last week, and that, what does this mean if they're going to push it off now? Are they ever truly going to enforce it? Is kind of the conversation that we had. This is obviously something that should have been done a long time ago, needs to be done to make those files and those images accessible to everyone, to screen readers and those kinds of things. So it's good work. It's work that needs to be done. So bottom line is, if you're in the midst of it, continue.
Yeah, and if you're just getting started, find the low-hanging fruit on things to do it. And if you're in Nebraska, other states, contact your regional service agencies as well. But if you're in Nebraska, contact your ESUs. There are folks in each ESU who have done some training on this. Jason and Peg Coover at ESU 10 are great examples who have done a lot in the ESU 10 area. There are folks around the state. We have had trainings the last 2 years on this as well. So we have been working on this quite a bit. I know at ESU 7, anything now that's wanting to go on our website, regardless, has to be accessible. We've done a lot of work with our website to get it where it is in our professional development department, working on our Google Docs, our Canva, our Google Slides, our Google Sheets, making sure everything is accessible and ready to go, that we're sharing outside. That way it's good practice. It is good practice. Oh my God, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to say that. This is just good practice. It's things that we should have been doing all along. But now with the government pushing us to, make sure that happens, I hope that the deadline sticks and that, people need to be in compliance eventually, but we'll see. Yeah. Who knows? We're going with it going forward where we are. And I know I'm working with some schools and within our ESU this summer to do some of those things, to get some of those things at least started. And as I said, find the low-hanging fruit and start small and work your way up. Yeah, just even putting alt tags on your social media posts for your images, for your social media posts, that's a good place to start. And I'm very much now in a lot of things I've done, and I think Peg Coover will attest to this too, when we were working on digital citizenship symposium contests. We're very hyper aware of color contrast now as well. We can see something like that color contrast isn't quite right in looking on some of those things. So keep doing the good work. It is good work. Keep doing it. All right. I know the last time we talked 2-3 months ago, and it might have even been before that too, they were saying that the Google Educator Level 1 and Level 2 exams were free until end of May, first part of June. Yes. Now, indefinitely free. Yes, free indefinitely. Now, I am showing that my video is frozen, so yeah, I apologize. Mickey's still there. Yeah, I'm still there. Actually, I'm going to maybe remove myself from the stage and see if that... Which is, okay, we're using my microphone to my computer anyway, since we're together, so... Yeah. So now I'm totally gone. No, she's still here, folks. I'm still here. I can show that she's still here. So I'm not sure what is happening this morning. So we'll just leave my black screen. We'll just go black screen and keep talking. All right, here we go. We'll see if I happen to come back on. So just I'm still trying to Mickey's trying to troubleshoot that. So in the show notes, we'll put in some links to Level 1 task cards and Level 2 task cards. So this is great for teachers, whether you want to get certified one way or another, or just to go through it. Many schools will be having new staff, brand new first-year teachers coming on. They've been with Google, but maybe not Google in the sense of the education setting with things. Level 1, Level 2 may be good PD for teachers. If you have summer time and you're just hanging around, you want to do this. This would be great options for you to go through. And as I said, it can lead to getting certified, becoming a certified trainer, becoming a certified innovator. There are a lot of other options out there to be able to do some of that. Any other
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still
No.
trying to troubleshoot. I have no idea. My video is displaying, and yeah. So I don't know. Should I just keep talking? Is that
Just
what
go
you
ahead and
think?
keep talking.
Okay. All right. Okay. Pretend that you can see me.
We can see that.
Yes, Google. Yeah, Educator Level 1 and Level 2. Those exams will be free indefinitely. So if that's something that you always aspired to, and maybe perhaps now Otis will go ahead and renew his Level 1 and Level 2.
I might do that. Well, we have been talking a lot of AI, just because that's, in a way, we were talking that prior to going, oh crap, it's 10 o'clock. We need to get going. But one feature with Google that I really, really do like is NotebookLM. I shared NotebookLM with bookkeepers, school bookkeepers and secretaries a couple months ago, or maybe about a month ago now. Some had never seen it, but for looking at pulling together school policies, pulling in their board policies, pulling in their procedures, to have a notebook that's easily searchable for them so that they can do that. Well, there are some new ways to customize and interact with NotebookLM if you haven't seen those yet. One of the really cool pieces now that has just recently come out is when you create a slide presentation, you can now export it as a PowerPoint. It's not just a PDF anymore.
Well, and that's not only, that's a big thing. That's a big thing, but you can now revise your presentation content of those slideshows. You can ask for changes, fix any issue. You can submit stylistic or factual feedback for each slides, and the slides are regenerated as new decks. Now, this is an 18 and up feature. So that is only available for those that are adults, listed as adults in your domain.
But if you as a teacher are doing that and are pulling content in, that can help you save a lot of time there as well. The infographics feature, they've added a bunch of different new styles. So you can select the style, whether it's a sketch note, professional, scientific, anime, claymation, bricks, once again, only 18 plus, but you're able to really get those sketch notes right there from your content. I do know that there are several different options in there. One of them is a little bit more detailed options. That is still under beta on that, not only on the free education side, but on the pro, if you use the AI Pro with that as well.
Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out what's wrong with my camera, and it's not happening this morning, guys.
It's fine. Also, improved flashcards and quizzes. Progress is now saved and loaded across sessions, which is helpful. So kids aren't having to start over again on that. They can mark it as got it or missed it so that they know, all right, I understand this, or go back to the ones that they missed. Shuffle the decks so that it's not in the same order. And then delete if it's like, all right, I really don't like this one. I'm going to go ahead and delete it as well. You can now upload EPUBs as well. So if you have EPUB files that maybe you're using for, I'm going to say like a school newspaper, and want to upload and see what all some of the common themes are from that, or for the year, upload that EPUB and then create an infographic or a slide deck that shows everything from the year as highlights. You can able to do that now. Anything else on NotebookLM that you can think of, Mickie? I'm trying to bring Mickie in, but Mickey's gone down the rabbit hole.
I might. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's try. Oh,
Maybe.
Am I
There we go.
Oh.
Okay. I promise I'll focus now. So, Jason, yes. My school did info, getting personalized results for the district or classroom. Yeah, absolutely. So we finished all of that, right?
Yeah, we got NotebookLM.
Okay. And so when we do these agendas, or when I do these agendas, I go back to the last time we met and I add the Google updates from that. So there might be some more NotebookLM on here. We'll see. Okay. So, this is one of those Ed Plus teaching and learning features available for a limited time, and that is the ability to generate custom music in Google Vids, powered by Lyria 3, which is their music generator, AI generator. Again, it's available for Ed Plus and teaching and learning, or if you have the AI Pro for Education add-on. Basically, what this is a text-based. You input what style of music you would like, and it will generate a 30-second clip or up to longer tracks up to 3 minutes. This is one of those AI features available in Vids that Google has said will be available at least until May 31st, 2026. So that's coming up in a couple of weeks. Unfortunately, Google has not announced if these AI features will be available for longer, so we don't know. We'll have to, I guess, look on June 1st and see if they're still there.
One thing I can think for this, obviously it's not the singing piece, but this could also be like an intro or an extro, or if you want a little background music with some images that you're showing. Of course, making sure you have copyright with those things too. We always got to look at the digital citizenship side of things. But to kind of put some of that music in there, and this kind of that background-ish elevator kind of music that you want in there.
Yeah. So let's kind of keep on the Google Vids track here. And again, for Ed Plus and teaching and learning for a limited time, you can now create and refine custom avatars in Google Vids. So what this is allowing you to do, and I think it's this one, it might be later on, this allows you to control the avatar more discreetly. So if you want the avatar in a specific location, doing a specific thing, this allows you to do that with Google Vids.
Yeah, having that avatar so that if you're just sharing your screen, you can have a little bit of you in there as well.
Yeah. That's actually, this is what I was talking about. You can now direct an avatar to speak and act anywhere with a consistent face and voice. And so Google is really trying to make these AI generated avatars more natural looking. Sometime in the past, these AI you could really tell that it was an AI generated avatar. So they're trying to really blur the lines there between an actual human and an AI avatar with these updates. Again, available for Ed Plus and teaching and learning for a limited time.
And also Ed Plus teaching and learning for a limited time. With those custom avatars, you can have custom branded avatars.
That's it. Well. That was it.
Upload a logo, so we could upload the ESU7 logo. And have it on my shirt as a custom avatar, or a lapel pin if I'm a little more dressy as well with that.
Yeah, that was what that one was. Okay, so let's keep on Google Vids, but now this one is available for everyone. So I love Google Vids for screen. I love Google Vids. Period. I think it's a great application. It is the missing link in the Google Workspace world. If you wanted to create videos, or you wanted your students to create videos, you had to go to a third-party tool. You don't have to do that anymore. Google Vids is really powerful, and one aspect of Google Vids is the ability to record your screen. And so that's how I've made all of my tutorial videos since I retired, has been in Google Vids. And I'm really happy with Google Vids and how it works. It does basically everything that I needed it to do that I was using in a third-party platform. Well, now they have released a Chrome extension for the Google Vids screen recorder. So you can install that Chrome extension, click on that, it will open up the Google Vids screen recorder. And with that, you can record yourself, your screen and yourself, or just your audio, and allow you to get and do that process just a little bit quicker. So rather than going to Drive and going to New and Google Vids and then select screen, you can do that just by using the Chrome extension.
Yeah, that's going to save you a lot of time if you're doing something that's like, oh, I want to screen record real quick on that. Or you're in the middle of a presentation, you're like, oh, I need to screen record, rather than having to get out, you're right into it. and being able to get there a lot quicker.
Yes.
It's going to help a lot more efficient.
Yes, absolutely. We love it when we can save clicks. Staying with Google Vids, you can now also export your Google Vid directly to YouTube. And again, since I am using Google Vids to make my videos, I appreciate this feature, because before I was having to, and plus I'm using a Chromebook Plus as my device of choice, and I would have to download it and then upload it to YouTube, and now you can just connect your YouTube channel. You have to have a YouTube channel in order for this to work, and then you can export it directly to YouTube.
That's going to, once again, be more efficient, which helps, especially depending on the device that you have, and putting it there depending on where you're wanting to put your devices as well. Another, I think this might be the last Google Vids one as I was looking.
It might be, yes.
You're able to edit your AI-generated scripts when you convert slides to vids. So converting your Google Slides to videos, you edit that AI-generated script that you may have with that. Of course, it's only the Ed Plus and Teaching and Learning add-ons.
Yeah, and so that the ability to convert slides to vids, that part is available to everybody. And so what that does is you take a slideshow and it will create a video complete with an AI generated voiceover, music, transitions between the slides. But with this feature, you can edit that script. The script that the AI creates, you can edit that script after it generates the script.
So you can add in a little more if you're wanting a little more explanation on a slide with that, or you're wanting to take out something that wasn't there, just to make it a little bit shorter as well.
Yes. Okay, so I think we mentioned this a little bit earlier. I'm not sure why it's down here again, but you know that you can, did you know that you can create music tracks using the Gemini app? Well, you can. And now you can create longer music tracks, up to 3 minutes long. This feature is available only to users 18 years and older.
Yeah, so having that little bit longer intro, that for the background music,
Yeah.
you know, your intro and your extra aren't going to be very long when you're doing things, but being able to do some expanded music tracks helps.
And I will mention that in Google Vids, there is a whole category of stock media included in Google Vids. And one of those is music. So again, no going to a third-party source to find that music track and then import it to whatever you were doing. You can use the stock media, which includes video clips, images, GIFs, stickers, and sound effects and music. And you can use those music tracks in your creations. But this is using Gemini to actually create a different music track.
Which, in this case, having it all in one place with Vids, your kids aren't having to go other places. You're not having to go to your LAN manager and saying, hey, can you unblock this because I need this? It's right there in Drive. Your kids have it. It's ready to go.
All right, so we talked a little bit about, or Otis talked about NotebookLM while I was messing with my my computer trying to get the video to work. So we talked about a little bit about NotebookLM. They have expanded NotebookLM capabilities for all education customers, but specifically for Education Plus and Teaching and Learning add-on customers. And what this is giving you is increased source content, so you can add more sources to your notebooks. You could do more chat queries per day, create more flashcards and quizzes, create more video overviews, audio overviews, infographics, and slide decks. Certain features of those in the studio are only available to users 18 and up. And so what you need to know is if you're using NotebookLM, no matter what version you are on, there are limits that you can do. Sometimes it's per day, sometimes it's per character. It just depends on what the limit is, but you may hit a limit. And then if you hit that limit, you'll have to wait until the next day for that limit to reset if it's a day limit. So, and they really, and it's not just Google that does this. I think really most companies are really, they keep those limits kind of under wraps. So it's hard to figure out when you might hit a limit. And sometimes you don't know until you hit it. But Google now has put these out in writing. And we will, in the show notes, link to this where this table is. But just for example, if you're on fundamentals or standard, you can now create 200 notebooks per user. I mean, that's a lot.
It's a lot of notebooks.
But if you are at Ed Plus and teaching and learning, you can create 500 notebooks per user.
But what's also nice, fundamentals and standards, it's 100 sources per notebook instead of the 50 notebooks.
Yes, so it's
50 sources per
individual sources in your notebook. And on the Ed Plus side and teaching and learning side, you can do up to 300 sources per notebook.
And the 500 per user and 300 per notebook are also on the AI Pro side of things. I really like on this too, when you see this in the show notes and you go down and you look at the data tables, infographics, and slide decks, it doesn't give you numbers. So as an example, infographics for standard, limited. The next level, more limits. The next one, higher limits, expanded limits. We don't know. I actually ran into that when I was doing some stuff with some things trying to create. I was about 15, 16, and I was like, you don't give me an exact number, you just tell me more.
Yes.
Or higher. So I just kind of find that funny.
Yeah.
For some, they give you numbers, others, they just say more.
Yeah, so we'll include a link to this table where we're getting this information, but things like flashcards on the fundamental side, you can do 20 flashcard decks a day. On the paid side, you can do 100 per day. Same thing with quizzes. So increased limits for NotebookLM.
Which helps out for some teachers. I know that I have not reached, I don't know that I even have a notebook that has near 50 sources in it right now. I know one that maybe Eric Kurtz has shared out with a lot of AI policies and things, I think is up there. That's probably the highest one that I've seen that has anything close to the 50 or more in it. I think it just depends on what you're creating, what all sources you're putting in there. I would guess probably my average one is a 4 or 5 at the most, depending on the topic that I'm doing.
I think I'm just going to, I think if you are doing like a deep research, I've done a notebook where I've done a deep research search to add the files to it. And that's when it goes out and goes all over to find different sources. Then I've seen where you could have more than 50 resources in there.
Yeah. So that deep research is nice too, in that where it really is digging in and really digging deep. I've used that in the Gemini. It's not deep research in Gemini, but it's very similar. We're going out and I say, hey, stick with these kinds of sources, and it produces basically a 10 to 15 page research paper and cite sources. And you still always want to go check and check and make sure on those things. But from what I've seen, it produces some pretty good results.
Okay, so we lied. There's more on Google Vids.
We like to hop around.
Yeah. This is chronological order, folks. This is how these things were released. Now there are more expressive AI voiceovers in Google Vids with 16 different languages. There are 30 new conversational voice options that better capture natural expression and realism. So you'll see them in Google Vids. You'll see them as, I don't remember what those are called, but the older ones are classic. So there's 2 separate voice things that you can choose from. Like the classic is like a teacher, a motivator. And now these new conversational voice options have all sorts of different names for them. But not only do they capture natural expression and realism, but you can take these new voices and add emotional instructions. For example, read this like you're excited, and then put what you want the avatar to say. Use brackets for pacing. So this brackets pause is amazing. So that's how the avatar will read it. Or including sound effects like laugh. That was a great point. So just making your AI avatar more expressive. So it's not so robotic, but more human-like sounding.
Yeah, so it sounds a lot more like you as a teacher if you're
Yeah.
putting some of those things in there, because if you're doing some of this and creating some of these things for kids to watch, maybe when you're sick, you might not have a voice that's able to do that. So if your voice is gone because you're sick, you can have that avatar be able to do that and sound not exactly like you, but more like you if you were in the classroom, having those pauses, the voice inflections, the excitedness, the, read slowly kinds of things with it.
Yeah, I did a session on Google Vids at NETA last week, and one of the people that came to the session mentioned that her students won the NETA video contest, and they used Google Vids. And she didn't know how to use it. She just gave them this as an option, and the kids did it. So she came to my session so that she could learn, so she could know what her students know.
Yeah.
But this would be, you could have your students. That's a great thing for students to even practice. Expression is really important, and how do you get an avatar to do that? It takes some thought to be able to do that.
Because we can all remember the robotic phone calls. Press this number for if you want, several years ago, and now it's becoming a little more expressive with it as well. Now available for Mac users, the Gemini app for Mac. So being able to have that Gemini app, just like you were to have it on your phone, it's right there for your Mac to be able to use if you want to use it.
So Otis, as a Mac user, have you installed the Gemini app?
No, I use it on the web.
Yeah, I know, I do too. I do too. I don't know that I would need a separate app, even though I'm not a Mac user. But and on my Chromebook Plus, it's basically built into everything. So
well, and I use Chrome. I don't use Safari or anything else. I'm a Chrome user, so I just go right in and use it on the web with pretty much just about everything. So there are some other things I have on the Mac that I like to use for, but no, I have not downloaded it. I have it on my phone. I use it on my phone from time to time, but mostly just the web.
Okay, so the next thing is for the administrators out there, the Google administrators out there. Google has announced Workspace Intelligence with admin controls. Now, a lot of the stuff that Google has been, a lot of the AI stuff that Google has been packing in really haven't had a lot of separate controls. For example, Gemini is either on or it's off. And so I think they are trying to give us some more granular controls over where Gemini is seen across your domain. And so Workspace Intelligence, if you allow this in your domain, and I don't know that the setting is available yet, sometimes they release these things without a control for it, and then they add the control in later. And this one I don't know for sure. But all of your generative AI tasks within Workspace will be grounded in your Workspace data across all of your applications. So Gmail, Chat, Calendar, Drive, including Docs, Sheets, and Slides. So rather than having to manually provide context to Gemini on every single query, Gemini can basically see into all of those applications and kind of knows what you're talking about without you having to say, use this document.
Yeah, and that's, once again, efficiency, trying to become more efficient, and it's always to your schools that if they turn it on and how your schools are using it and want you to use it as well.
Yeah, I think Jason is right here that, and this is something that I really haven't explored myself. We haven't really talked about a lot, but being able to do workflow or tasks on your behalf, he's probably right. That's where this is going.
Yeah, that agentic AI and being able to control some of those agents for those redundant tasks that you do to free up you to do other things.
Yeah, and I suppose we could refer to that as agency. Maybe we have talked about AI agents on here. I don't know. But it's letting an AI agent act on your behalf, as Otis said. Now, there could be good and bad that comes with that. I guess my recommendation would be to proceed cautiously. Have you done anything with agents?
Not a lot, just because I like the control of it right now of things that I do. I do use just Gemini or Gems to run some things for me, but it's nothing that, and a lot of the things that I do, I have to do myself going through it.
Okay, so again, for our Ed Plus and Teaching and Learning license holders, we have some new Gemini capabilities in Google Docs that will help you go from blank page to brilliance. So you may have noticed, if you're on one of those licenses, you may have noticed that you now have a little sparkle icon at the bottom of your doc. And if you click on that, it will allow you to prompt. So they keep moving. I think they keep moving Gemini around. Like sometimes it's up at the top, sometimes it's in the side panel. Now here's a little sparkle at the bottom. But things like help me create, help me write, match writing styles, match document format. Those are the things that you're getting with this capability. And through June 1st, those users will get higher usage limits for matching writing style and matching doc format. And after June 1st, you'll be knocked down to lower usage limits. We don't know what the limit is, but right now it's high. So give it a try.
Yeah, and this is nice where you have an idea of what you want to do. You don't know how to create it, but taking and plugging it in there, saying, this is what I want. This is, in a way, kind of what I'm thinking. How could it look? It does it for you. It's right there. It's in Docs for you. That then you can adjust. Okay, that's not quite it, but it's close, and I just need to move some things around. That helps out.
Or if you have a document that's already formatted and you're doing a new document, but you want it to be formatted like the document you already did, you could use this feature to help you format that new document with the old style.
Which, back to our original first topic we talked about, with talking about accessibility, you have that accessible document. Hey, I want this format to be exactly the same. That way it's accessible. I just thought of that. I'm done today.
That's good. We used to say in our office, if you did something like that, it was something amazing. Somebody else could say you could suck for the rest of the day, but you could not grant that power to yourself. Somebody else in the office said you could suck for the rest of the day. So I do think that was really good. You came up with that on the spur.
I came up with that spur on the moment.
So I do grant you the ability to suck for the rest of the day.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Jason has a good one. One of his great agents right now that he's done is, and safe doing it, is a daily briefing. He looks at his email calendar and to-do doc and tells him what his top things to do are. And that could be one of those things, starting small, not necessarily giving it a lot of control, but saying, hey, here are some of the things that I have. Here's my calendar of when I'm doing those presentations. What are the top 3 things I need to get done today to be able to be there as well? And I think it's previous time too, where we don't fully know where all AI is going. I like his analogy of where all the tentacles run as well, because it as Mickie and I were talking prior to, anything new that's coming out has some type of AI in it. And when it gets there, what's it going to do, and being careful when we're doing that.
Yes. Now, just so you think that Google has not just been working on AI, here's something that I don't think has anything to do with AI. No. Maybe why they increased the cells, but anyway, you now have faster performance and double cell limits in Google Sheets. So if 10 million cells wasn't enough for you, you now have access to 20 million cells in a sheet, in one sheet.
I don't know that I've even gotten close to 10 million cells.
Well, I can't imagine the spreadsheet. What on earth would you be calculating or keeping track of?
That is
a lot for sure. So, but if you did have a spreadsheet that was that big, it might take a little while for it to open. Think about think about that. And so this is saying that you'll now have faster performance in opening those larger sheets.
Which will help if you have those larger sheets.
Yes. Okay. Oh, well, I think we already talked about the custom branded avatars.
We did talk about that.
Did that. So we're gonna go ahead and skip on from that. Okay, so I don't remember what this one is, so I gotta look.
So this is when you're creating files in Gemini. I was just looking at this morning to remind myself. Creating files and conversations in there. It's now, instead of export to sheet,
Yes.
we can have it created as a PDF. We could have it created as a Word or an Excel file. So it actually, there are several different ones in there. I think, did I see a TIFF, or I thought I saw some other file extensions.
Well, if you wanted it to be in PDF format, you know, you could now prompt Gemini to create it in PDF format. So rather than, like we said, exporting it to a doc.
Yeah. So
If you know your ultimate end goal is to have a PDF created, then prompt Gemini to do that.
especially if you're not going to have any edits to it, or don't think you're going to need to do any edits or changes or formatting yourself when you're doing it, having it go right to the PDF. Once you have it as a PDF, you can change it, but it's a lot harder to change than if you were to keep it as a doc or a Word document.
Yeah, the example that Google gives is taking class notes with formulas and graphs and charts, putting those notes into Gemini and telling Gemini to create a PDF study guide based on those notes using LaTeX for the formulas.
Yeah, so coming through, so that would be good, useful for math teachers. Hey, here are the notes from today. Do this as a PDF so that I can now upload it to Google Classroom for kids to see that are gone for a track meet or a golf meet or a soccer game or state FFA, state FBLA, state whatever CTSO your students are involved in.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay, now this one is for it's a higher ed feature, but we're gonna let you know about it because I don't know, maybe this might be a feature that would roll down. But students can now create personal class notebooks with NotebookLM in Google Classroom. This is a higher ed feature because students have to be 18 years or older to access Gemini in Classroom. So like teachers can access Gemini in Classroom. Students who are on the higher ed side, 18 years or older, also have access to Gemini in Classroom. And now they can create notebooks in NotebookLM from their class materials that are already in Google Classroom.
Which saves time for students to downloading them and putting them in their own to create those notebooks for studying, for creating those flashcards, those quizzes that are preparing them, especially this time of year where finals time. Obviously, college finals are done or just about done, but for those high school kids that are getting there, it's going to help them study for those finals as they go through it.
I think this is Google's way of trying to push their LMS solution to higher ed. I don't know how they're going to make a foothold. Well, of course, since what's happened with Canvas in the last week, maybe this is Google's chance to push in. So I'm not sure that that's something that we need to be aware of, but kind of if we think of what Google has done over the course, they kind of opened stuff up for first it was 18 and older, then it was 13 and older. Now it's every student has access to these tools. So this might be something coming to K-12. It might not.
Yeah. One new thing, if your admins have this turned on, you're leaving districts or even students in districts, there's Google Takeout. I know we've talked about Google Takeout before. It now supports Google Photos for education users. So if you have Google Photos, those will be a part of Takeout that can be downloaded, transferred, as long as Google Takeout is turned on.
So this is a specific portion of Takeout. So Google Takeout is one thing. Google Takeout Transfer is another tool. And so Google Takeout Transfer allows you, so with Google Takeout, you're basically downloading your content. Then you get to your new district, you get to your new school, and you can upload it into that drive, or you can upload it into a personal drive. With Takeout Transfer, it's eliminating the download process, and you're going from Google account A to Google account B. Okay. And so some districts have not enabled that portion of it. But if you do have that enabled for your, and this works for teachers too, you have teachers who are leaving your district and going to another district. And if you don't have any policies preventing them from taking their content with them, they could use the Takeout Transfer tool as well. Before it was only Drive files and Gmail. Now they've added photos in there as well.
Which is helpful for teachers that, if allowed, to take their content. But the photos may be one of those that's like, hey, I want to transfer these photos of, 20 years of kids and classes that I've had that I want to keep as a memory, to be able to transfer those over. But as Mickie said, making sure that you're able as a teacher to take that content. But the student transferring it over because they may want to keep their stuff as a portfolio of things, how they're going on, so that they can keep some of that content as they move on from high school on to college.
But I will say that when I was at Norfolk, we did not have Google Photos turned on for students.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we just didn't want to hassle with it. We didn't want it to take up the space that photos normally take up with. So photos may not be enabled for your students.
I don't know of many schools that maybe do have that turned on for students.
Okay, so these last two, I think these were just this week kind of announcements. This first one is for Ed Plus, just for Ed Plus, it's teaching and learning, but you can now set custom instructions in Gemini in Google Docs. So for example, a custom instruction might be use a concise and professional tone for all of my documents. So rather than having you enter that every single time, you can save this as a custom instruction. And so Gemini in Docs will just know that that's how those documents are supposed to be.
It just kind of saves a step of saying, hey, make this concise and professional every time you put it in there for your prompting. So it automatically knows it's almost like creating a role that you're saying that every single time use this role or change to this role. It's saying, this is the role I want every single time on this, to help save you time as well.
And then finally, the last one we have is, and this was just released yesterday, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to look at this, but you can turn your AI prompts into one-click tools using skills in Chrome. So you can save your most effective prompts and run them instantly with a single click, no matter where you are on the web. This is for Chromebook Plus, Mac, or Windows. You have to have Gemini in Chrome turned on. And skills are not currently available for managed or enterprise accounts unless your organization administrator has enabled this feature. So Gemini in Chrome must be enabled. And the feature must be turned on. And this is only available to users 18 and up. So this would be only for the adults in your organization.
One thing I could see with this, kind of back again to our first conversation, is creating those alt text descriptions. Because I have a Gemini prompt that I have pinned in my Gemini that is all for helping me create those alt text pieces. This can help save time on that piece as well. I think that could turn that prompt where it's like, I'm looking for alt text for this image in 150 characters or less. Boom, there it is. It's done, and it saves me time from hopping screens as well.
Yeah, and that's available for all editions. So no matter what edition you're on, you have access to skills in Chrome.
Well, that reaches the end of our agenda for today. I know we had Jason. Did we have any other?
Nope. Jason, thank you so much for being our only viewer. You are our viewer of the day.
Viewer of the day. I will bring you your reward next week in Kearney for our statewide meetings, Jason. It will be a hearty handshake. I just hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the school year, however much time you have left. I know a lot of graduations happening this weekend, this next weekend as well, coming out. And have a wonderful summer. Find some time to refresh, recharge, get yourself ready for another school year. And I know Mickie and I will be back in the fall sometime with the Google updates from ISTE in the summer.
Yes. Remember, Google always has big announcements over ISTE. That will be at the end of June. Where is it this year?
It is in Orlando. ISTE ASCD is in Orlando this year.
Yes, Orlando. Okay. So, and usually we get privy to those announcements about a week or a few days before they go live to the world. So, but we'll have all of those announcements for you. Hopefully there will be, I don't know, what would be your Google wish, Otis?
My Google wish. Oh, wow.
No,
I hadn't thought about my Google wish. One of my Google wishes would be maybe for them to even look a little deeper into some of the accessibility things, and helping so that it makes it a little bit more. We purchased Grackle docs, Grackle sheets, and Grackle slides, Grackle workspace basically for us, as I know that some other ESUs and maybe some schools have as well. But being able to have some of that stuff done within Google, and then Grackle automatically sees as you check it, it's there rather than having to go into Grackle and have those things there.
Yeah. If you would have asked me last year at this time, my Google wish would have been Google Vids available to everyone. And guess what? It happened. So I ranted about last year about this time about how Google Vids should be available to everyone, not just on paid accounts, and so now it is. So hopefully that was my doing. I don't know. I'm going to claim it. But my Google wish would be for Google to build in the ability for teachers in Google Classroom to view Google Classroom as a student.
Yes.
I mean, that's been my wish from the get-go with Google Classroom, so 10 plus years. And you can do it that way. Think about how many other tools. Brisk has a student view. I mean, why can't, because we know that things don't always look the same to a student as they do to a teacher. So that's what I want. I want student view in Google Classroom.
Yeah, that would be a great one. That would be another good one as well.
Considering I just thought of that question, the Google wish, and I had not prepared for that. That is what I can think of.
See, Mickie and I just always come up with things. We always plan for a half hour. We always go an hour. We always come up with things that we hadn't thought of.
We are never short on conversation. Yeah, that's for sure.
That is true.
So anyway, thank you for joining us again. It's been a great Google year. And like I said, we'll be back again in the fall to share all of the Google updates. We would love to take your questions. We would love to have a guest on. So if you're up to either of those, contact Otis or I, and we'd be happy to have you on.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful summer, and we'll see you next year.
See you next year.